It looks like the feds weren't kidding when they said they were coming for Diddy from every angle. They've shifted their focus from his wild parties and are now digging into some shocking claims, like allegedly taking out his rivals. For years, the streets have been buzzing with rumors about Diddy going after his enemies, and it seems like we're finally seeing some proof. Cassie hinted at it in her lawsuit. Lil Rod mentioned it in his. And now, the feds are saying Diddy allegedly tried to take out Katt Williams after Katt put him on blast earlier this year on Club Shay, and trust me, the receipts are wild. It's a miracle Katt is even still alive. If you know Katt, you know he never holds back when it comes to spilling tea, and that's exactly what got him into this mess. The things he revealed were next level wild, and of course, he came prepared with receipts to back it up. One of the most jaw-dropping parts? Katt claimed that Diddy tried to seduce him and get him in his bed. Now here's the real question. Was Diddy really that into Katt? Or was he so desperate he'd stop at nothing to get him? Things really started heating up after the new year, when Shannon Sharpe and G. Williams stirred the pot with an interview that had the internet in a chokehold. And you know how Katt is, he doesn't talk often, but when he does, he makes it count. This time, he spilled some crazy tea about Hollywood's biggest names, from Steve Harvey to Kevin Hart, but the part that had everyone gagged? That wild Diddy story. Yup, Katt said Diddy tried to seduce him. And Katt's response? You gotta tell him no.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need to know. You here, get your number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
According to the streets, when G turned Diddy down, things got real messy. Diddy allegedly even threatened to assault him. If you've been paying attention or not living under a rock, you've probably already heard the whispers about Diddy's, let's say, extracurricular activities. But here's the wild part. Long before Katt spilled the tea, the streets were already buzzing with rumors about Diddy getting way too close to young men in the industry. And that's just scratching the surface. Lately, people have been talking about how Diddy seems to be out here doing the most, and not just with women. The real twist? The streets are saying that Diddy has been flirting with men too, and his inner circle isn't just filled with women. There are some boys in the mix as well. But honestly, this isn't new tea. Folks have been whispering about Diddy's alleged interest in men for a while now, even back in the 90s. Wendy Williams was one of the very few brave enough to try and expose Diddy's rumored secret life on her Hot 97 talk show.
And Diddy?
Well, he didn't take that lightly. Instead of letting it slide, he allegedly sent the girls from his group Total to jump Wendy and teach her a lesson.
I remember I got off the air one day and them Total bitches were downstairs waiting, and everybody upstairs at the radio station is looking down, egging it on, waiting for something to go down. I wasn't yet married. My knight in shining armor screeched up in his car just out of nowhere. I didn't even know what was about to happen. Skell hiding like a girl. Thanks, Skell. I'm standing in the door like, what? And I'm literally about to go through. Now, I'm not like, what, let's fight, because I'm not one of those type of broads.
Well, Diddy definitely miscalculated on that one. Almost getting jumped wasn't enough to make Wendy back down. She kept spilling the tea about him being on the down low, and Diddy was not having it. He got so furious that he ended up getting her fired from her job and basically tried to ruin her career. Talk about a serious overreaction.
There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams. And she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle.
Wendy's now ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, also opened up about this in an interview, revealing just how close Diddy came to ruining Wendy's life and career. It's shocking to think about the lengths he went to just to silence her.
Is it true that Diddy got her fired from the radio station? Did he have anything to do with that?
I think that he had, yes. Well, let's be clear. Nobody got fired.
Okay.
He got suspended.
Okay.
Yeah. Did he use his influence and power with Steve Smith and him at the time? And God knows whatever his relationship was with the overall station, because Bad Boy was a powerhouse. We all know how Bad Boy dominated a large part of the 90s. And as far as New York, they was a powerhouse. So Was he, King Joffrey Joe? Yeah. Did he go in there and shake him up and say, yo, I want this chick off. This is my group and all kinds of shit. Yeah.
Wendy was one of the few people brave enough to call out Diddy on his antics, and that's why so many people miss her. She would have had a field day with this Diddy situation, especially with Cassie's lawsuit dropping. She would have been all over that story, giving us all the messy details without holding back. Hopefully, we're filling some of that gap, so make sure to hit subscribe if you enjoy it. Isn't it wild that Diddy's first reaction was to resort to violence by getting his artist to confront Wendy? Whatever happened to having a mature conversation? There was no need for Diddy to immediately jump to violence, but given what we know about him now, should we really be surprised? What made fans even more concerned about Diddy's violent tendencies was Cassie's lawsuit against him. She accused him not just of physical abuse, but also of manipulating her throughout their 10-year relationship. It didn't stop there. She claimed he forced her to be intimate with male escorts he brought to his parties. The lawsuit was so serious that it included a trigger warning right on the first page. Diddy thought settling out of court would put an end to it, but that just opened the floodgates to more legal troubles he hadn't faced in years. Multiple women came forward with stories of alleged assault, including one who claimed she was very young when it happened. This had everyone questioning what really went down at these parties and whether there was actual consent involved. As Cassie mentioned, she often felt like she had no choice in those situations. Now, don't get me wrong, being gay isn't the issue here. Diddy can be whoever he wants in his private life, but it's the behavior he allegedly displayed that raises serious concerns. It's the shady stuff that's really got people talking, along with all the secrecy. The whole situation is just wild because Diddy ended up hurting a lot of people along the way. Take Cassie's lawsuit, for example, where she claimed he forced her to be intimate with male escorts while he just sat back and enjoyed it. According to Gene, Diddy's former bodyguard, those parties were set up for Diddy's pleasure in more ways than one. Gene pointed out that these gatherings weren't just about having fun. They were designed to cater to Diddy's desires. If we look back at Cassie's lawsuit, she mentioned that Diddy had specific requests for the male escorts he hired for these parties. It's shocking to consider the level of control he allegedly had over the people involved and the entire situation.
She say that, in this lawsuit that, Diddy, he enjoyed watching her get smashed by BBCs. So, what you think about that?
Do you think she was the only one getting banged by him? Do you think this man had this woman search for prostitutes online just for them to have sex with her?
Is it just me, or does it seem like Gene really doesn't like Diddy? I can't blame him, considering what it must have been like to work for Diddy and witness all the crazy and questionable things he might have been doing. This definitely explains why Gene jumps at every chance to expose as much as he can about Diddy. Now, let's get back to Katt and his interview on Club Shay. Katt has built a reputation for calling out every shady part of the industry, and he's not afraid to reveal the dirt that most fans are completely unaware of. When it comes to sketchy dealings and all the Illuminati nonsense, you definitely can't pay Katt enough to keep quiet. He's never been a fan of Diddy and has a history of calling him out for his questionable relationships with younger men. In fact, Katt has even used some pretty strong language to describe Diddy, if you know what I mean. Some people might think that Katt's recent comments are solely about Cassie, but he's been coming for Diddy since way back in 2011. He exposed both Jermaine Dupri and Diddy for allegedly taking advantage of the Criss Cross boys, Chris Kelly and Chris Smith, who were just kids when Jermaine first noticed them in the 90s. They were so young that they were still in elementary school at the time. But by the time they turned 12 and 13, they were making waves in the industry, and behind the scenes, things were pretty dark. Allegedly, Jermaine was exploiting them and even passing them around to his friends in the industry, including Diddy. It's a wild and tragic situation that these young boys endured horrific acts for years, which ultimately led to Chris Kelly developing a drug problem due to the years of abuse. The crazy part is that both boys had suspicions about what was happening but were promised fame and fortune. Being young, they succumbed to the pressure. I end an interview. Chris Kelly shared, "We were just playing video games at this mall in Atlanta when suddenly this guy came up to us and said he'd like us to work with him as rap musicians. We had no idea who he was. In fact, I told my dad that the guy was probably a child molester. Yeah, he basically looked at us all funny, but according to Gene Deal, the exploitation of young stars wasn't limited to Jermaine Dupri. Diddy also had plans to take advantage of the members of his girl group, Donity Kane.
Because I heard him, and I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said, in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, yo, I'm gonna drug their ass off and pick them up and pimp them out to my nigga. He said, I'm gonna drug them out. I'm gonna get them all on drugs, and I'm gonna pimp their ass out to my nigga. I was like, tell somebody kids, and walked out.
Katt had known about this since 2011. So, when he called out Diddy and Jermaine Dupri, he didn't hold back and used the P word to describe the situation.
What's happening, Pop? I'll be back to you with JD ain't happening. Yeah. Jermaine Dupri, King of the Cut Bastard. Shh. Jermaine Dupri, small as a child. I was fucking jamming.
What's really wild is that Diddy, knowing how Katt feels about him, still tried to make a move like they were some kind of lovers. It just doesn't add up. According to Katt, Diddy went all out, even offering him $50 million for a one-night stand. Seriously, Diddy is facing some serious allegations here. Katt didn't share all the details, but insiders say Diddy was furious after being turned down. Allegedly, he even sent people after Katt to kidnap him and take him somewhere unknown. Katt barely managed to escape, which is a huge reason he's kept his distance from Diddy. Sources suggest that Katt believes Diddy was trying to force him into one of those freak-off parties against his will, and he's lucky to have gotten away. You'd think that experience would make Katt lay low and keep quiet, right? Well, if you think that, you clearly don't know Katt. He's impossible to intimidate. The Illuminati has supposedly been after him for years, yet he still calls them out. Diddy's attempts to pressure him only fueled his determination to speak out. Instead of backing down, Katt got really angry and decided to expose some wild tea we didn't even know about, including the fact that the bromance between Diddy and Jay-Z might be more than just friendship. But before we dive into Katt's revelations, let's talk about how 50 Cent has been trolling Diddy since Cassie's lawsuit dropped. It's like 50 has been waiting for the perfect moment to take his shots at Diddy, and now he's doing it more than ever. After Diddy's fourth lawsuit, 50 Cent jumped in, saying, nah, he'll be fine. He's got so much money. When his corporate partners pull out, he'll just reach into his pockets and make it happen. Remember how quickly he paid Gazzy? Diddy's got that FU money, so FU Diddy is definitely on the way. In another Instagram post, 50 shared a video of Eddie Griffin cracking jokes about Diddy, who took a jab at Diddy's long-standing beef with Suge Knight, currently serving time. On Twitter, 50 said, I thought Diddy was a billionaire music mogul. If he's smart, he'll file for bankruptcy now. Anyone with real money knows why I'm saying this. I'm the best producer for the job. Here come the receipts. So, it's clear 50 is fully on the hate Diddy train, just like Katt. Katt exposed Jay-Z for allegedly being Diddy's lover and partner in crime. In an interview, Jagar Rai claimed Diddy and Jay-Z were more than just friends, hinting at some intimate moments between them, if you catch my drift.
Camaraderie with Honeycomb and aka Diddy, and
why do you give him the honeycombs? Why do you give him honeycombs?
Because he smacks. That fucking side of my anyway.
And you can bet 50 Cent is all in on this drama too. He even shared a video of himself on stage with Diddy and Jay-Z, capturing that moment when Diddy playfully smacked Jay-Z's, but in front of thousands of people. It's wild to think about how these guys interact in public, but you know 50 is always ready to stir the pot when it comes to Diddy and Jay-Z.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do for him, Jay?
I wanna take him back a little bit.
Well, shit, my nigga, you know this your motherfucking city, nigga.
But according to C. Williams, there's a lot more happening behind the scenes than we realize. He claims that Jay-Z and Diddy have been involved in some shady dealings together, not just the freak-off stuff, but also allegedly grooming younger women. You know the saying, birds of a feather flock together, right? Well, Sieve believes that definitely applies here. He's claiming that Diddy and Jay-Z are knee-deep in some messy business together, and I know what everyone's thinking. What's new? But Sieve isn't the only one who's brought this up. Jaguar Wright has also stepped forward to reveal that Diddy isn't alone in his antics. She claims he and Jay-Z are allegedly in cahoots. She pointed out that Jay-Z has managed to evade the spotlight on similar behaviors because he's been a lot more careful and, let's be real, a lot smarter than Diddy.
Sean Carter is worse. He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy. This pussy been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 fucking years.
Well, Katt backed up Jaguar by claiming that Diddy and Jay-Z allegedly groomed women together. He emphasized that while Diddy has been the one facing backlash for years, Jay-Z is far from innocent. Katt also highlighted how Jay-Z was involved with Foxy Brown long before he met Beyoncé. They first crossed paths when she was just 14 or 15 years old, while Jay was already 27. And now, these rumors have been circulating for a while, but Foxy has consistently insisted that nothing happened between her and Jay, maintaining they were just friends. But let's be honest, what 27-year-old man really wants to be friends with a 15-year-old girl? They have nothing in common. Plus, it's worth noting that Jay-Z wrote some explicit lyrics for Foxy Brown back in the 90s, which makes the whole situation feel even more questionable. There's even a blind item circulating on Reddit that says, "I don't want any smoke with the Beehive," but let's examine her husband. It suggests that he was romantically involved with a 14 or 15-year-old Foxy Brown, writing explicit lyrics for her and allegedly using her as a drug mule on his trips to Maryland. He's been known to degrade women, so we can't pretend he's above this kind of behavior when there's documented evidence. Katt also pointed out how Jay-Z completely turned a blind eye while his best friend at the time, Arv Kelly, groomed Aaliyah and married her when she was still a minor. You probably know all about the Arv Kelly saga with Aaliyah, the manipulation, the marriage when she was just 15, and the fake ID used to make her seem 18. Shockingly, even after all that came to light, Jay-Z continued to collaborate with Arv Kelly, releasing a joint album titled The Best of Both Worlds right in the midst of the allegations against him. But let's not even get started on Katt's allegations about Diddy and Jay-Z. There were whispers a while back about how Diddy allegedly helped Jay-Z manipulate Beyoncé through drugs. Jaguar has claimed that Jay-Z is a monster, so obsessed with controlling Beyoncé that he keeps her drugged up.
He's a monster. And I've known he's a monster for years. I waited a long time to see if he would grow a conscience. And the more drugs he pumps down his wife's throat to keep her in the character.
No, girl.
She then urged the Beehive to launch a Free Beyoncé's campaign, claiming that she is allegedly trapped in her marriage and feels like a prisoner.
Tell you this right now, y'all talking about Free Britney. Y'all need to be doing a campaign that say Free Beyonce. She is a prisoner in a gilded cage.
Oh no. If Beyonce is the person, she's one of the most expensive persons ever.
Yes, she is. And she's watched 24 hours a day. She's not allowed to make a choice for herself, not at all, not in any way. People think she has an amazing life. She is told what to say, she is told what to eat, she is told what to drink, she is told what to wear.
By whom?
She is not her husband's wife, she is his employee. It's a business arrangement. She was a dowry.
Well, Katt was the first to connect Diddy to those allegations, suggesting that he played a role in helping Jay-Z with his alleged manipulation. With the recent claims about Diddy supposedly drugging people, it's not too surprising to think he could be involved. Given all the accusations against him, including Cassie's lawsuit and Katt's revelations, things just got 10 times worse for Diddy. Fans have had a lot to say about this situation, with many believing Katt's long-standing claims about Hollywood's dark side. He's been saying for years that a lot of your favorite actors and musicians are mixed up in some sinister activities, especially when it comes to children. While some people dismissed him as crazy, Katt has been telling the truth for over 2 decades, enduring attempts to blacklist him and destroy his reputation. Another person noted, "We always knew about Diddy, but I always felt like Jay-Z had a lot of secrets." And I'm not just talking about drug dealing, I mean the kind of stuff that's coming to light now, and it's been quite a week. Share your thoughts and comments below, and don't forget to subscribe before checking out the next video.